me is head coach of the Wall Hawks, Houston guy, after practice here on a Wednesday. Coach, how are we feeling today?
We're feeling pretty good. We had a real good, crisp practice today. Kids got through both offensive and defensive segments, looking really good. So we finished today on a high note.
Of course, had a big win over Eastland in your opening week, 135-10. Coach, how comforting is that, knowing that you can come in, take care of business, and move on to the next opponent like that?
It was good to get that first win. You always want to, especially at home, you want to get that first win under your belt. We would like to have played a little bit better. There's things that when we left and when we got off the field, man, there's a lot of things that we can clean up to play a little bit better. But I thought our kids played hard. Hats off to Eastland. I thought their kids played hard. I think their kids played, probably as hard as those guys could have. They stayed in the ball game for a long time. But hats off to them and their coaching staff. But I felt like our kids did some really good things. But there's lots of things that we can clean up.
Of course, yeah. It was a close game at halftime, and then, of course, you pulled away in the second half. What specifically did you see that you were like, we got to do better?
We turned the ball over too many times. We had too many turnovers, and that's one of those things where some of it's mental, some of it's just taking care of the football. Some of it is they were hitting us pretty good, but and again, that goes back to just the mental phase of the game. I think that we got to understand that it's football, and they are going to start striking us, and we got to be mindful of that and take care of that football in those situations. And that's the biggest part. That was one of the things I was most disappointed in, was our turnovers, and so we definitely got to fix that by Cisco this week.
And of course, Coach, we also going to talk about the positives now. What did you see from your team that you were like, I like this, I want this again?
I thought they flew to the football defensively. I thought we played really good defense. I thought offensive line-wise, we did a really good job of owning the line of scrimmage. I thought our perimeter blocking was really good. I thought we threw the ball around really as good as we have in a long time. I think we threw some really good deep balls. I was proud of the way Gunner, he got us out of some bad situations, and it's one of those things where I think the more the season goes on, the more he's going to grow up, and so I think we'll see some, a lot of good things from Gunner for the next, foreseeable weeks.
Basically going to be running the spread by week 10?
No.
I'm kidding, Coach. All right, of course, now we're moving on into Cisco now. First away game of the season. What do you expect out of Cisco this week?
Cisco's, they're traditionally a power football house. They're going to run the ball. They're going to play great defense. And they still do that. They graduated a lot of kids off their team last year. They were a very good football team. I knew that they were going to be a little bit down, but they played Clyde really good. They're a very physical team. Clyde beat them by 12, but they moved the ball really well on Clyde, better than I was hoping they would, and they really hung with Clyde. And Clyde's a very good football team, so I was hoping to see them not as good as they were last week, but they're a very physical football team, and they just tradition-wise, they're going to play hard, and so it's a team that you can't take lightly. You got to go over there, and they haven't lost very many games on their home field. I bet they lost 3 or 4 games in 5 or 6 years on their home field. So you better go over there ready to play. They're not going to just give you a game, especially in Cisco. So you better strap your helmet up and be ready to play.
And Coach, what is one thing that your team can do going into Friday that may not ensure the win, but will give you a very good chance of claiming that second victory?
We got to be the absolute most physical football team on the field, and we got to take it to them, and both sides of the football. We've got to absolutely take care of the football and own the trenches, and that's where we got to start.
Is there any particular player that fans out there just need to watch out for this week? I know your offensive line is playing well. Any guys on that line you want to shout out?
We got a bunch of them. We got a kid playing right guard and right tackle. We got 2 kids. Lee Brake and a Pritz. Both those are guys. And then we got a left tackle named Aldridge, and those guys are playing really good. Braden's playing good at left guard, and a little bitty center that's playing really good. They're doing really, really good. We just want to keep getting better each week.
And then final question here, Coach. When we travel to Cisco, is there something like some game day ritual where you do to help
help
keep the guys focused, or is it just the message, just go out there and do your jobs? Like, what do you think?
It really is. Just get out there, do your job. Be relentless on offense, be relentless on defense, fly to the football, and be the most aggressive team we can be. And really, that's it.
All right. Well, thanks, Coach. Thanks for this. Again, this has been Walls head coach Houston Guy out here after practice ahead of the Week 2 matchup versus Cisco. Thank you.